I want to just pinpoint. I see the listeners listening. If you are listening, again, thank you. I appreciate it, right? Hopefully, I'm getting through to at least one of you, right? Um, the fact that you're listening is appreciated. I'm not just talking for no reason. That means I'm talking to somebody and hopefully they're learning. So, psychological effects of fatherlessness, right? And science has backed this up as well. Attachment issues. Higher risk of insecure or disorganized attachment in childhood. That's what not having a father can do. Um, all of this is source. You can look this up. Low self-esteem. Children may internalize absence as abandonment or unworthiness, which is factual. Um, Three, aggression and behavioral issues. They are more likely to exhibit aggression and delinquent behavior because they don't have a leader or protector there to um, instill structure for them. Four, we'll go to higher anxiety and depression because the emotional instability due to the lack of parental affirmation. They will have difficulty informing relationships, so emotional detachment and fear of intimacy because they will assume if my dad don't care, then you don't either, right? Six, educational deficits, lower academic achievement and increased dropout rates, right? And I'm saying all of this because once we get to the comments, right, this everything that I'm saying to you right now is backed up from science, but then the people are proving the science because their comments confirms what the science is saying. Increased risk taking, right? Substance abuse, unprotected sex, and early criminal activity. It's We wonder why we have so many problems here in the USA. And me personally, I think a lot of our crime and a lot of our teen pregnancies, a lot of all of this is stemming from one problem that we don't really look at: fatherlessness. I feel, yes, it's gonna be a huge task to try to redo any of this, but it's a task nonetheless that you got to try, right? At least bring it to the forefront. That's the best you can do, and then the conversation will start, and from there, actions can be put behind the conversation. So then we go to identity confusion because lack of masculine feminine role modeling impairs identity development. Trust issues, particularly in boys. Absence of father can lead to mistrust and authority. And then you have hypermasculinity or overcompensation. So some young men adopt destructive behaviors to prove manhood, right? This is a crisis to me. This is like a crack crisis or drug crisis, epidemic, right? This is something that, especially here in America, that we need to try to do something about because a lot of us are walking around, and the thing about fatherlessness is whether you want to or not, you're affected by it. That's what I'm trying to bring to the forefront. You are psychologically affected by not having a father, whether you understand that or not. And then ways to overcome fatherlessness. So positive mentor programs. You can go to therapy and counseling. You can have faith-based support, kind of like what I'm doing right now. Trying to let you understand God is the father of the fatherless. You're never fatherless. God is your father. You have school-based male mentoring that you can try to go after. Community father figures. If you have anybody in your community that you deem worthy as a father figure, try to align yourself with them. You can go to therapy, but everybody doesn't have access to therapy, so that's why I'm doing this now. Fatherhood education for young men, support groups, books and media. Mission, really. That's really the way over. If you're fatherless, I would just say you need a mission in your life, whatever it is. I don't know what your mission is. It's not my job to tell you what your mission is, but if you're fatherless, one main thing you're going to need is a mission. You need to pour into your mission. Figure out what God, your Father in heaven, wants you to do and stick to that godly mission, and you'll make your Father in heaven very proud. So I want to bring in what experts would say, right? So a psychologist. I have a psychologist, Dr. Jordan Peterson. He known for his work on responsibility, masculinity, and fatherhood. And his quote was, "The absence of a father leaves a boy without structure. A child must learn that someone cares enough to set limits." This was in 2018 in his book, 12 Rules for Life. So the advice is establish discipline, create structure, and seek purpose through mentorship and service. And that's extremely hard to do if you are in a um, if you're in a household with just your mother, because I mean, as a man you can eventually, or as a young man you can eventually try to buck that system. You can eventually try to buck her structure, and you know, maybe in the back of your head you can buck her because she doesn't have the physical prowess to keep you back, but a father would, right?